Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm so glad that you are here. If you're watching, I just wanted to do a little chill get ready with me before work. I was going to try and film some yesterday, but that really did not happen because of the universe. But I figure, I'm getting ready for work right about now anyway, and I figure a lot of other people are probably starting their days too. So, it might just be a nice idea for all of us. So, I haven't even done my brows or anything. Hi, Ari. How are you? I'm going to prep my skin. I'm going to use this Formula 10.0.6 Picture Perfect Day daily moisturizer with SPF 15 broad spectrum sunscreen. I don't know how much I'm going to need sunscreen because I don't know if I'm actually going to be outside at all today. Hi, Lori. I'm really glad to be doing this. But I do it's now officially that time of year where I have to just moisturize every part of my body or else I'm just gonna get super, super dry. And I don't want that. I also know that me pulling at my skin probably isn't the greatest for it, but I don't have a whole lot of patience. Hi, Heather. Okay, now I don't know what kind of makeup I want to put on my face right now. And my hair's kind of a mess too because I've just been periodically clipping random strands of hair instead of giving myself a proper haircut. Because I don't know if you can tell, but up here this is a lot. So I've just been trying to give it as much texture as I possibly can. I could potentially go for a haircut, but I don't want someone that close to my face right now. Let me go ahead and I'll start by doing my brows and then I'll figure out the eyeshadow situation in a little bit because my cats are just complaining. They have been, I love them so much. They've been obnoxious all morning. And they've just been doing the most since 6 a.m. And I went to bed at 1 last night, which that's not an election night thing. That's a standard thing for me. So I'm not, super concerned about that. But it's still annoying as shit. So for my brows, I use the Melt Radioactive palette. My hair is a lot. I'm going to use a shade Meltdown because that one, I've said this before, but it sucks as an eyeshadow shade because it really just gets patchy when you try and blend it out. So it really only works as a deepening shade. But it works great as a brow product because you can kind of make it look a little bit more natural. And Lori, that might also have something to do with my internet. My internet is slow as fuck. So I don't know if that does anything. I have to upload a video the day before in order to get it up over here. And that is obnoxious. But, I'm not going to be here forever. So hopefully, hopefully I'll be able to manage until I move officially to someplace where I can settle down. And for my brush, I'm using the Elf & Jake Kiss J5 brush. It's just a nice little angle brush. It's very nice and thin. And honestly, I got a coupon for Ulta that's $15 off 75. And if this brush set is still available, I think I'm going to buy another one because these are just quite lovely. Yeah. And so I kind of just make an outline and then I just start filling it in. I know this is very Insta browy, but I don't know how to do any other form of brows. This is what we're all getting. I figure when I'm able to update my hair color, then it'll match the Insta brow a little bit more. I'm just waiting for some hair dye to come in on Saturday. That's when it says that it's going to ship. So And then I kind of like don't put any extra product on the brush and just kind of lightly fill in the front like that. So it's not perfect, and it always ends up looking even worse on this side. This is just like my worst side, but hey, I have bang stick like cover for me. So that's just what we're going with. I've been getting a lot more coupons from Ulta this year. I don't know if they just feel bad for me or what. But since it 15 off 75 is for like prestige brands too, I might use that to buy some stuff that I wouldn't normally, you know? So I'll see. Cause like, I don't know, there's not like that much stuff that I really want that's like available at Ulta. Most of the stuff that I've been interested in recently are like from indie brands and all of that. But maybe like some sugar pill, or I don't know. My problem is like the only brands that I really am interested in at Ulta are like really cheap ones, so I could just like buy a whole lot of stuff from them, but I don't want a whole lot of stuff for them. And then there's like higher end brands that are like either problematic that I still find interesting, like ABH and Lime Crime, like, you know, and Lime Crime, I'm kind of on the thing of like, well, if I have points and I'm not actually giving them money, I might get something. I don't know, but not like actually spend my real money on them. You know what I mean? But and then there's like ABH that I don't want to like give any sort of attention and exposure, but like they're the only ones I find interesting. Like I like Urban Decay and they're relatively like normal and unproblematic, but they make objectively pretty things. They just don't make things that I'm interested in. So I might just stock up on a bunch of like all-nighter setting spray and like perversion mascara or something. I don't know. I don't want to let that coupon go to waste. But that might also be capitalism getting to me. So I don't know. Okay, my brows are done. That means it's time to figure out what I want to do for my eyes. And I kind of want to do something obviously like that'll match this a little bit. I don't know. I'm just going to be on Zoom meetings all day today. So I don't know what's like actually going to, well, I don't know. The folks in my work are pretty chill. I kind of get to wear whatever I want at work. So it's not so much a matter of that. I just want it to kind of go with the sweater, but also still be pretty interesting. And I don't know. So let me go back to my palettes and maybe we can make some decisions together, shall we? Pardon the god-awful look of the back of my hair. Okay. I'm thinking something in the green or purple category. You know, I've only used this palette once since I got it. Should I use it today? Let's see. This is the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop Cotton Candy Palette. I also realized I forgot to wet my sponge. Let me do that real quick. Okay, I'm back. Wanted to do that before I forgot anything. Oop. Good morning, DM. Okay, and we're all in agreement that I should use the Beach Sweet Shop palette. Cool. Yeah, because this is really pretty and it's really good quality. I just haven't used it in a bit. As in, since I got it and did a review on it. So, let's just see where we get, shall we? Okay, NYX HD Eyeshadow Primer. Ruthie! I figured Like you said my name with a lot of exclamation points, so I wanted to say it back. NYX HD Eyeshadow Primer, aka the greatest eye primer to ever fucking exist. If they discontinue this, I will die. And I hope one day that maybe NYX will see all of my efforts to indoctrinate everyone into using this eyeshadow primer and just like recognize me with a lifetime supply of it. Because it is beautiful. You know, one day when I'm famous. Not if, when. If only. Okay, so I want to lean into the purples of this palette. So I think I'm going to begin with Confection right here. And this is the Elf and J Kiss J3 brush. So let's just begin. This is like super nice and pigmented. I love it. This is going to be a good transition shade. Honestly, bead shadows are like really good. I wish they would just come up with like either color stories that interest me more or just like unproblematic ideas, because their Halloween collection and like stigmatizing a mental illness, like that pissed me off a lot. But the color stories were interesting. And I find that like I really like their stuff. They just don't make a whole lot of color stories that interest me, because before this, the only thing that kind of interested me was their Weekend Festival palette. And even now I realize like I was mostly just excited about the idea of like colorful drugstore mattes and not like actually caring that much for the color scheme, because I'm into more grungy colors. Like I'm still keeping it because it's really good quality, but I don't know. And I have been interested in their Avocado Toast palette, actually. I've been interested in that one and their Blueberry Muffin palette. But the Blueberry Muffin palette has a shade in there called Cheat Day, and I'm like, I don't... Diet culture? Is that... Like, I'm willing to give them a pass, but also, I don't want to feel shamed for eating a goddamn blueberry muffin. So... I don't know if y'all can hear my cat's doing a chaos outside. So, okay, that is my transition shade. I need something a lot deeper because that's how I function. I don't like light eyeshadows as my only shadow on myself. Don't feel like it works well for me. So, what do y'all think? Should we lean into like the bluey purple or like the berry purple? I did like a berry eye look yesterday using the Nabla Cutie Berry palette. So I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards this, but what do y'all think? Because I could go either way. Yes, that was a joke. Okay, blue, lavendery bluey purple. Okay, I think that's a better idea too. Or berry purple. Oh, and the sugar gliders are doing great. We just got a new cage for them and they're like living their best life. And just zooming, eating a lot of food. You know, they're just, I love them. I love our little babies. They're currently asleep right now, or I would bring them over. I don't want to wake them up because this is like if you go to bed at like midnight, this is like 1 a.m. for them. So they're only just starting to go to sleep. And I wouldn't want to be woken up if I were them. Ooh, I like this. This is like very unicorny. I think I'm gonna have to do like maybe some sort of eyeliner with this. Just for like my own sake, since like I said, I'm not a huge fan of lighter colors like close to my eyes. Like I can do it if I have some like wing liner, just like straight up black eyeliner with it. But like on its own, it's not my favorite. So yeah, but the Shuggies are doing great. The cats are also doing great. Ivy was a great election night companion last night. Just super cuddly without being clingy, and she's very like empathetic as a cat. So she's like, okay, I can tell you're stressed. You need snuggles, and so she's been super great. We watched Knives Out last night, which I think is also a good, like, distraction film. Let's see. Now I'm thinking for the lid, I'm kind of going to do like a combination of these two shades like this on the outside and this towards like the inner portion. I just got to find a brush that I can use for that. I also know that the sound of brushes clinking must either be the best or the worst sound. And yes, Smudge is a great boy. Granted, I don't know if I've talked about this on this channel, but so Smudge, he and I have a rivalry going on because when, like, he wants Case all for himself. And whenever he's seen me give Case like a hug or a kiss, you know, my partner of almost 4 years, AKA we've been together longer than he's even been alive, he will like bite me. Not like nibble, because there's a way of like sugar glider love nibbling. He will just like chomp me. And so like when Case isn't around, we're like good, we're homies. But he gets jealous. But Ivy, our catto, one of our cattos, is the same way with me, so it's mutual. Okay, so I'm gonna use sugar towards like this part of my eye. I'm gonna see if I need a glitter glue after I put it on. And also Knives Out is so good. It's like the right amount of distracting, I think. It's very nice. And also just Chris Evans in that sweater, though. I think is honestly just such a beautiful big draw to that film. It's just cozy Chris Evans. Like, I definitely lean more sapphic in my like bi pansexuality, but nothing will get me like a buff man in a cozy sweater. Like, that just does something very special for me. Like, that specifically is a type of man that I'm like, okay, this is why I'm bisexual and not just straight up into women and non-binary folks. Okay, that's looking pretty nice. Like, it's a little sheer, but I don't want. So there went my brush. Okay. I'm just going to use the other side of this to do the shade Fluff here. I'm a little clumsy today. What can I say? Oh, and there's definitely now some glitter fallout on my nose. I know my webcam probably isn't showing it because I have not hooked up my like DSLR onto my computer or anything, but there's this part of my face is a lot more sparkly than it was before. I feel very unicorny. I like this a lot. Yeah, this is a good look. Okay. So before I do my lower lash line, I'm going to do like my face stuff since I kind of like to get a little grungy and I don't want to like cover up my like, I don't use concealer under my eyes. I cover my under eye bags up with eyeshadow. That's how I function. So, okay. So like I mentioned in the crawl last Saturday, I really like the Fenty Matchsticks. This is in Mocha. I wish there was a shade between this and Amber, just because I feel like that would be my perfect shade. But I like underpainting with it. I learned on the crawl that apparently that is a term for it. So I just take it with my Real Techniques expert face brush. Wow, I need to like actually let my mouth and my brain catch up together. And I just kind of do a pretty intense-ish contour. I still try to like blend the edges, but it's something that isn't going to look good until I put my tinted moisturizer on top of it. And thank you, Heather. I like to hope that at the very least, if no other part of my makeup looks good, my eyeshadow does. Because that's what people see when I'm wearing a mask. I was actually like having a conversation with some friends about like, are you getting more properly gendered now that we're wearing masks and like people only see like half of your face? And honestly, I don't get gendered at all when I go out in public anymore. It's more like people are like, eyeshadow, and I'm like, yeah, my gender is eyeshadow. So that feels good to me. Like literally that is what people comment on. They're like, oh, eyeshadow. I'm like, yeah. So NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. Can use this. Urban Decay had been teasing their tinted moisturizer like back in July when they were teasing the Stone collection, and I'm really irritated that they haven't actually released it. I understand that that's potentially a more summery type product, but this I want to try other tinted moisturizers. Like, not that I want to fall in love with a high-end moisturizer when I have a pretty affordable product, but like I want to have more than one option in terms of like a tinted moisturizer with a decent shade range. Like, still the NYX's shade range is something to be desired, but I'm not gonna do like Glossier Skin Tint, or like I think Milk has one too. Like, I don't want to go for that where there could be a lot better of a shade range, and Urban Decay does a pretty decent shade range in my opinion. And so I think they do a tinted moisturizer, at least shade range wise, pretty well. So I just want to like try something else just to like have a couple of options instead of just having like the one thing. But they haven't released the thing yet. So that bothers me. Okay. I think for my lower lash line, I'm kind of just going to do the same thing that I did in my crease. So I'm going to begin with, sorry, I just had breakfast too, so I'm like gross and talking through burps. It's not, I'm like that John Mulaney bit where I'm like, I'm not old, but I am gross. So, I'm gonna use Confection as like a lower transition type shade. Oh yes. I will say that if I do have to go for pastels ever, purple pastel is my favorite because I think it blends nicely, and purple is generally a very good color to complement brown eyes, in my opinion. I think purple is like, I think purple is a very good color to complement just about anyone's eyes. But purple is just very lovely. Thank you, Lori. So yeah, this is a nice transition. I definitely want to deepen it up with the Blurply lavender shade, but you know, I think that this is pretty fun. I'm trying to think what else like has happened that would be like a chill good story. So my parents regularly like send us cat toys and stuff because my parents also have 2 cats. They're older than ours, obviously. Loki and Luna. Loki's like almost 10 and Luna is almost, no, Luna's officially 4 now. So they're obviously much older and so don't play as much as kittens do. So my parents just send us like cat toys that their cats don't care much for. And they sent us like this cat window hammock type thing that we just set up yesterday, and it is so cute. So the cats were like really nervous about it at first. Like we would put them up there and they'd be like, ah, yeah, fuck you, mom. Nope. But they've kind of started warming up to it more. Also really liking this eye look. I want to figure out what I want to do in my inner corner since there really isn't any like lighter shade in here. So I'm gonna keep talking while I do that. And also, thank you, DM. I think I'm also in agreement that purple and teal are a great color combination. That's actually why I have my hair teal, is because purple is my favorite color and teal is my second favorite color, and it'd be a lot more like weirded out if I couldn't wear purple as like a clothing and makeup option without looking too monochromatic, you know what I mean? And yes, Heather, purple is the greatest and it can work on just about any eye color, and I 10 out of 10 recommend it to every single human being. So let me see. I think what I could do, okay, I'm gonna pull in my Huda Neon Pink Obsessions because I feel like these two have very similar vibes. This one has obviously more shades, but I would say that this one is easier to work with. I still love this palette because I love purples and pinks, but the BH one is definitely easier to work with. But I think out of one of the middle shades there, I could find a very nice inner corner highlight. So let me grab my inner corner highlight brush. Speaking of things that Urban Decay does really well, and I wish that they would have more stuff like available in Sephora and Ulta, their brushes are actually really great. I know not everyone likes brushes that comes in palettes, which is fair because like I have a whole bunch of those little ABH brushes, and while the packing side is great, the blending side is so fucking scratchy. So I definitely agree that those aren't great. These, however, are high quality. I've had this one. This one came with my Naked Smoky palette, and I got that back in 2014, I think. So this is a 6-year-old brush, and I'm aggressive with my brushes, and I have broken many brushes, especially Anastasia brushes. Like the little thing will come loose and it'll come off, or like the bristles will come out. This is still very much intact. I love it. And I really wish that they would expand their brushes, especially their eye brushes, because I also have the one from the Naked 3. I did have the one from the Electric palette. That one fell apart a lot easier. So I think it's more that the brushes that come in the Naked palettes are really, really great. I love this side for like doing cut creases, and I love this side for doing like brow bone work. And this side is also good for brow bone stuff in a pinch if you don't want it to be like as precise, but I tend to like my brow bone pretty precise as I want this part to be generally pretty smoky. But yeah, Urban Decay needs more credit for their brushes. That's all I'm saying, and they need to release a lot more because I don't buy a lot of high-end brushes. I'm generally very happy with like my e.l.f. ones. But wouldn't it be nice though? Like, the only high-end brush that I ever bought was like this little one from IT Cosmetics, and it's like good, but I have since like gotten that brush from the e.l.f. and J. Kissa brush that I think does like a better job. Anyway, that's my rant, is that Urban Decay needs to make more brushes. So I think I'm going to use this top shade here that's like a pinky purple. Oh, hello. Inception. Okay. Let me just use a little bit of that in my inner corner. It's very subtle, but it does a job. Also, I'm like stuffy because of the weather change. And so I'm like, I feel gross. This feels so unicorny. I kind of love it. Honestly, I want to do some wing liner, but I use the Essence wing liner because I was out of my NYX Epic ink was just like dropping everywhere, and all of the ones were like sold out when I would go and look for it, and I wasn't about to make an Ulta order just for that one. So I was just kind of looking whenever I like had to go to CVS or, you know, like not making extra trips, but if I saw it while I was out, I would get it. And it kind of just never came. So I bought one from Essence, and it is so dry that it is just like not functional. I used it once yesterday, and I had to layer like black eyeshadow on top of it. So I think that actually I might use part of that Ulta coupon to order me some backups of the Epic ink liner, because I should have never strayed, honestly. Okay, but I am going to use this eye pencil from ColourPop. We're in Color Stop, Color Flop, whatever. I'm not buying from them right now, but this would be a good shade for. I shouldn't talk while doing this, but I am. You know, I'm just talking. I shouldn't talk while doing eyeliner if you needed a translation. Okay. I will get over my fear of having light colors next to my eyes and just go with that for today because I don't want to have to fuck with a shitty liquid liner. I'm not here for that today. So I'm now gonna just curl my lashes. I'm really sorry that like I'm likely making a lot of noises with the brushes. That can't be pleasant for y'all. I hate hearing that when I'm like going back and editing videos, but I specifically wanted to do a live so I wouldn't have to like try and edit anything. So, and also because I think live streams can be nice and stressful times. This is my Ardell lash curler. I love it so much. I've tried other lash curlers. All of them have injured me. This has never steered me wrong. And mascara, where are you? I am an entire mess. Okay, and this is the Fenty Full Frontal Mascara in the shade Cause I'm Black. And this is a very okay mascara. It looks good, but it is not the kind of mascara that I'm used to. So I will finish this up and then probably try and find something else. So if you have any recommendations for a mascara that looks very similar to like the Milk Makeup Kush mascara or the ColourPop BFF mascara, please give me recommendations. Good morning, Christine. And no, I will not be doing the Essence Lash Princess. I said this in Saturday's live. I think I'm the only person on earth who can't stand the Essence Lash Princess mascara. I got this stuff in like the bluey green tube. And somehow it managed to be like the worst, smudgiest mascara ever, while also flaking and also being impossible to get off. So, ooh. Okay, so at least one other person says that Essence mascara kind of sucked. I just need that kind of reassurance in my life because everyone I trust on YouTube says that they love it. And there are people who I normally would like get other recommendations from, but we all know how that's going. Okay. I think I also just have a very specific taste in mascara. Like my mom and I were talking about it too, because she has a hard time finding mascaras because she has rather short lashes, but hers are on like hers are more like a brownie black, like not fully black. Like if she wears a straight up black mascara like this, it won't look flattering on her. So she's also had trouble finding mascaras that she really likes, since a lot of them don't do that. Yeah. So we've been having that mascara struggle together. We both agree that the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara is overrated garbage. And I've warned her against the Essence Lash Princess. Granted, she only wears mascara like twice a year. So I'm like, you know, if you can deal with a shitty mascara for twice a year, then that's fine. But I would love to try the Milani Highly Rated mascara. I did try a Milani mascara like 5 years ago. It was in a pink tube. I know they don't make it anymore, but I thought it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't my favorite. I had converted to Urban Decay Perversion after that, which, like I said, honestly, if I can't find anything else that I like, I will go back to that. It's definitely really wet, so it can get a little bit smudgy, but I like how it looks a lot more than the majority of mascaras that I've tried. But if Milani Highly Rated is closer to ColourPop or Milk, then I would probably end up going for that. Okay, so Fenty bronzer, Sunstalker bronzer in Shady Biz. Oh, I also heard good things about Thrive, Ruthie, so that might also be an option. Is Thrive sold anywhere that isn't their website? I think that's been like the one thing that's been putting me off, is that like I don't want to go on a website just to buy a mascara, you know? But at this point, I just might, you know? Oh, I didn't know they were at Ulta. Cool. I also just haven't been physically into an Ulta in a while. What was that face, Alex? This side looks better than this side right now, but it might also be the lighting. I don't know. I also have this little piece of hair just sticking out of the back here. Okay. So we need to figure out blush and highlighter. Hi, Mo. How are you? I'm glad you're here. You are here, so you brought the fun. So I'm currently trying to decide what blush and highlight I want to wear. I have been, I think I'm going to just start with a base of cream blush, mostly so I can use up one of the cream blushes from the two of the brands that I'm like trying to, get rid of. So I have this one from Milk and this one from ColourPop. I think either of them would look really good. And both of them are ones that I don't want to get rid of because they're good quality. But I don't support either of these brands anymore. So y'all pick one for me. Okay, first person said Milk. We're doing Milk. Yeah, I'm feeling you on the lack of sleep hangover. I actually went to bed around the same time that I normally do. Like I usually try and get in bed before like around 12 or 1. So I went to bed around 1:30, so that's not bad at all for me. But the cats decided to get me up earlier than usual, so I don't like that. I'm surprised I didn't have like an actual hangover because I don't drink that much, but I was definitely drinking last night. Like I'm very glad that for Halloween I stocked up on like spooky cocktail making supplies because that was also useful for last night. But no, I'm actually, aside from the sleep deprivation, from the cats waking me up about 2 hours earlier than they're supposed to, because I usually set my alarm for around 8 because my morning meeting for work is at 10. So they usually try and get me up around 7, but today they did 6. So that's not fun. And I am generally cruelty free. I've been having a lot of weird feelings of that recently due to like, I think animal testing is bad, but I also don't want to necessarily like, I don't want to deprive people in countries where animal testing is mandatory of like cosmetics at the same time. So I don't know if that makes any amount of sense because like, I'm, in the year of our Lord 2020, if you live in the United States and still believe that, the leaders' decisions about the country's policies entirely reflect the opinions of the masses of that country, you're under a delusion, I think. So I have complex feelings about cruelty-free in that for me personally, I would feel icky about buying anything that is tested on animals, but I don't fault anyone else for doing it, and also like if someone gifted me non-cruelty-free makeup, I wouldn't say no. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah, that's my like distilled version of my entire cruelty-free thing. Like I want cruelty-free to be a thing everywhere. I understand why it's not. Mo, I really, really hope that you can get some rest today because falling asleep after 6 a.m. and being and like it's 9:43 here right now, and I really hope you're able to get some rest because I think you deserve rest. Everyone deserves rest, and I think we all need it a lot more than usual today. Ari, that sums it up a lot for me. I know that it's a privilege that not everyone has, and so I don't want to. Yeah. Good morning, Toya. Now, I think I might actually apply a little bit more blush because it's not showing up that well on camera. Yeah. And honestly, cruelty-free is only something that I'm kind of in with, like hair, makeup, skincare. I've tried doing it for household products, and I'm not entirely able to do that. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you, Christine, on ColourPop. While I've really enjoyed the products that I have from them, I'm kind of just trying to use it up. Because they were doing like pretty decently, but the fact that they really haven't changed any of like their representation and the fact that they're basically just like the Shein of the makeup community at this point, yeah. So I don't want to support that. I think that the thing is, I want them to get better, as I want every company that's doing shitty things to get better. But I also feel like they've had a lot of chances to do that, and they're clearly not taking it right now. Like maybe in a couple years, if they decide to just like completely overhaul their business model and just like be completely different people who, you know, accurately represent an actual range of diverse people and make products that actually work for everyone and not release a collection every other day, then I might be willing to support. But as someone who's trying to live more sustainably and consciously, I cannot in good conscience work with that. Is anyone else seeing that there's like a patch of right there on my face? Okay. I'm gonna keep talking, but I also have makeups up here. Okay. There's a highlighter that I want, and there's a blush that I want, but I don't know where it is because I'm only about halfway unpacked. Also, check out this fucking sweater. So, I'm going to do an entire like thrift haul soon because there is a Plato's Closet nearby that had a Free People event, and it was like all online, so you could like buy it online and then do curbside pickup. And this is one of the sweaters that I got. I had some very good picks and some very not good picks that I will show you. And yeah, I like this. This is a good mood for me right now. Just like this, pair of leggings. I feel like generally ready to go. This is how that's kind of my work from home uniform, is like flowy top plus leggings. I'm also just gonna grab myself a little glitter. A couple options, because I realize I haven't, wait, that's not the one I was looking for. Well, I can't find the one I was looking for. But I realize I haven't used like a nice glitter in a bit, so I want to use it too. Okay. I'm gonna check in here to see if maybe I put the blush in here. Because if it's like lost forever, it's the Milani Baked blush. I love it. I love Milani Baked blushes. I think they're great. And I know I have one here, but I don't know if I actually have both of them here. But the thing is, I know I brought all my makeup over when I was moving, so I don't know where it would be if I didn't. Yeah, because all I have is like my warm tone one from them. Like, I'd absolutely be willing to rebuy it, but I want to make sure it's like gone before I do anything like that. Ah, and there's a glitter I was looking for. Cool. This is what it's like actually like getting ready with me in the morning. It's just very chaotic. Okay, so let me first use a glitter that I want, which is this one from Slayfire Cosmetics in the shade Bitchin'. And it's just like, I just want to use it on my inner corner a little bit. It's like this nice white iridescent sort of glitter. Um, and I just want to pop a little bit of it in there. It's honestly not going to show up too much, but glitter makes me happy. And this is a biodegradable, compostable something. They explain it on their website how all of that shit works. I'm not a science, like I leave science for people who are more like of that brain than me. So I'm like trusting that, you know, people who know more than me, I let them figure that out and I believe them. Basically, I believe scientists, because I'm smart in a lot of ways. I'm not smart in a sciencey way. So I believe people who actually study that shit, when they're able to explain things like, how is this biodegradable? And yes, Magnolias in June. Makeup is a coping strategy, and that is how I'm getting through today. DM, have fun at work. If that's possible. I know that's not possible at every place. Thank you so much for coming here. Yeah. So now I'm gonna do my highlighter, then go back to another layer of a different blush. And then I'm gonna have to pop on some lipstick and leave because I have a meeting in 10 minutes. Fortunately, I just have to hop on Zoom, but I'm gonna use this highlighter from Bitter Lace Beauty because it's like a nice light pink. I think it would go pretty well. I used this yesterday too. And I think it just looks very lovely. It's like not quite as glittery as some of the other highlighters from Bitter Lace Beauty. It's very like light and yeah, just like kind of iridescent-y. Like you can definitely see that I'm wearing a highlighter and that it's, you know, a little bit different, but it's not like glittery showing up on all my pores, you know. Yeah. Okay. And let me find my blush brush. Gonna use the Urban Decay Afterglow blush in Rapture. I wish I had picked up more of these before it became discontinued. I need Urban Decay to bring their brushes and their blushes back. That's all I need. So I'm just gonna take it on a big brush. And I like to kind of use that to blend like the highlighter and the bronzer a little bit between each other, because sometimes I just don't want it to end up like a stripe on my face or anything like that. Yeah. I think that looks pretty nice. Now, what do I want to wear for lips? I have some like purple shimmery lip gloss, which I'm kind of leaning towards because that'll be super easy. I have some like purpley lipstick to just like make this monochromatic, but that, I don't know, that might be a little much. So let me just find that lip gloss and then I think we're gonna go. This is the Fluide lip gloss in the shade Spectrum. I really like Fluide's glosses. They're not like the tastiest in the world, but I like how they look. And they kind of have like the right amount of shades for what I want to do. Like it's not overwhelming. They're not super opaque. They just look nice. Like, see that? I love this shade. I love Fluide. Honestly, they're such like a wonderful company. I haven't bought anything from them in a while just because I've been on a single shadow kick. And they don't really have a lot of that, but I'm thinking soon I might order more from them. I have one last step before I have to head off. And that is setting spray, because I cake a lot of shit on my face, and setting spray doesn't necessarily make it stay longer, but it does make my face look like less powdery. Not that anyone's going to be able to see that on a webcam, but it just kind of feels nice to me. So, Urban Decay All Nighter, which honestly it's a classic for a reason. Oh, I look so like shiny. I'm so shiny. Sorry, I just gotta revel in that for a little bit. I just feel very shiny and I like it a lot. Okay. Now I'm also gonna hope that this doesn't smudge my mascara because I realize I normally do this before I put on mascara, but I didn't want to have like the weirdest makeup routine ever while I was on live. So okay, mascara not smudged. Everything else set into my face, making it look like my skin is kind of just naturally shiny and blushy and contoury and bronzy, but also looking unnatural because that's what I want. Okay. It is 9:54. I have a meeting at 10, and I would like to give my cats some pets before I go do that. So I'm going to hop off here. Thank you to everyone who joined me. I was kind of worried that since I was doing it like in the morning that people wouldn't want to like actually join in, but this is kind of the only time I have today. If you did not get enough sleep last night because of everything going on, I hope that you are able to do that now. If you have not been able to practice self-care in the way that you want to, I hope you find an opportunity to do that soon. You are all beautiful, wonderful people who are deserving of hope and kindness and love and good things. And I hope that you are able to find that in whatever way works best for you today. And every day, but especially today, because the world feels a little rough right now, but I'm really grateful that we have this community, that we have each other. Um, and I'm not going to give any sense of like, I don't want to tell you anything that might end up not being true, but I will say that we have a really awesome community. And if nothing else in this world, we have each other, and we are all really great people. Who are going to continue doing the work of lifting people up and providing kindness and hope and compassion for people in this world. And that is what keeps me going a lot more than any news cycle or political candidate ever could. And that's not to say that none of that shit is important, because it absolutely is. But we are the revolution, and we will continue no matter what happens in the world. And that is what keeps me going. And I hope that it can keep you going too. And I will probably do this again soon because I really like this. Okay, so that's enough rambling. I gotta go. Y'all probably have to go too. I love you all so much, and I will hopefully see you very, very soon. And I love y'all. Bye.